afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here, hosted by the Tynes Group Global Business Summit. I've been asked to talk briefly about global trade and climate change. We are truly at a pivotal moment. My name is Ann Harrison, and I've come to you from Berkeley, California. So let's start with a little bit of data here. How do we measure what is happening in the world in terms of globalization? The standard way to measure globalization is to look at the share of exports in GDP. That orange line that you see there, that is India. India has had a remarkable transformation, moving from 1960, a share of exports in GDP of less than 5%, all the way to the end where you see it has overtaken a number of countries. Exports now as a share of GDP exceed the United States. The United States is at the bottom there, that dotted line at the bottom. And India has now surpassed China with a share of exports in GDP above China's. So remarkable progress, particularly post-1990s with the reforms. However, what you should also see there is for all sectors of the world, since the 2008-2009 recession, there is stagnation. There is stagnation in the share of global trade and GDP. It is happening across all countries. And so we are at a turning point here where we cannot expect the same increases in global trade that we saw literally for the last century. In another way, India has also shown remarkable progress. In addition to that remarkable performance that we saw for trade, there's also a shift in the global trade winds when it comes to global direct investment. If you look in those graphs, you see that over 20 years, the biggest share of inward foreign investment was going to China, about 40%. No longer today. Over the last 5 years, the share of foreign investment going into China has dropped dramatically, and it's been replaced by India. India now accounts for most of the share going into Asia. Although the levels have not increased, the share is definitely bigger, and greenfield investment in particular is picking up, another very bright wind on the horizon.